Before I start, I'd like to give a quick shout out to 3 people: Jobel, Angelsa, and Emmanuel Mukembe. Thank you so much for everything you do, for your support, for your ideas, for sharing my videos. It's truly appreciated. What's up, ambitious immigrants? Today I'd like to share with you the most important advice I've ever been given. An advice for success, and the one I've been using my entire life. Every time when I felt a little lost, I would go back to this advice, and I had to work very hard to get this advice. It was basically almost 10 years ago. I was scheduling lunch with a lot of powerful people. My first job, I was working at a $1 trillion company, and my goal was to really meet everybody, the most important leaders in that company. And in a period of almost 3 months, I met everybody who was important at that company. I met the CEO, spoke to the CEO for almost 7 minutes, just one-on-one. And during that time, he was so impressed with me that he told his vice chairman, you should have lunch with him. And I also took advantage of that. I asked the vice chairman for lunch. So after talking to so many folks, having lunch with them one-on-one for hours. So I spent almost 20 hours having lunch with people who went to MIT, Harvard, you name it. People were just like, successful. What they liked about me was that I was driven, I was ambitious, I just had that hunger in me. And really, because I was hungry, I wanted to succeed so bad. And thinking of my, the way, where I'm from, and the struggle we've had, and that desire to really make the impossible possible. So I was really, I felt that need to meet these folks and learn from them. And so the most important, the climax of it was when I had lunch with the vice chairman of the $1 trillion company. So it was in an investment bank, and people there work hard, the most ambitious and smartest folks you can think of. And that guy told me that he never applied for a job. He was always, really somebody who worked, hard, did a lot of great things, succeeded, and that's how he ended up where he was. He didn't have a degree from a MIT or Harvard, but he beat everybody. He was telling me, somebody was just like telling me, like, it doesn't matter who you are, you're not gonna beat me. So he was somebody who was just like, he was very honest and true, and is the impact that conversation played in my life, and I think to me it's almost like the climax of everything. So after telling him about my dreams and goals that he made fun of, because I can't even share them with you because they're unrealistic, like crazy. But I was that guy who just wanted to do the impossible. I asked him, what is the one advice you can give me that can make a difference, that can help me achieve great outcome, to be just like you? So he started thinking about it and told me, outsmart everyone, out-hustle everyone. Then he paused. And he said, with integrity. And when he said that, I was shaking my head like, wow. So I have to outsmart everybody, outwork everyone with integrity. And then, he was so generous that they even suggested, like, is there anything I can do for you? Do you want me to write you a check or something? And I was so, I don't know what happened to me that day. I was just, no, don't do it. I don't think, it's a good idea because my boss may not like that, you gave me money and things like that. And it was a little disappointing, but I told him, why don't you just pay off my student loans? And, he laughed a little bit. But I never got anything from, he never wrote me a check. But he gave me the most important thing ever. It was that advice that he gave me. And I applied that advice, but I never really understood it quite well. And I had to kind of update it and upgrade it, right? Because when I was working hard, I was doing well, but it was pissing a lot of people off. My boss didn't like that I can't, after that I basically started coming to work early. I would come to work every day at 7 o'clock, and I would leave around like 5, 6. And I was usually the first one in. There were really a few people in before me, and that guy was always there in at 6 a.m. because, I would just see him logged in, available. And I was surprised, and but I couldn't beat him because I was living far from work, and my commute was an hour and a half. So getting there at 7 o'clock was already early in Boston, and I was living very far, like a city that was 2 hours, an hour away. But with traffic and taking the subway, the best I could do was get there at 7 a.m. But I was burning out all the time. So over time, after years, after, even a job that I had here in North Carolina, where I came to work, I think it was at 5 a.m. because I wanted to complete something, to get it done. And I worked nonstop from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. And I didn't even have take a lunch break, burning myself out. And I started really, feeling like burnt out, stressed out, and, like in a way that was just not healthy anymore. And what I've done is I've learned from all that to kind of understand what I could still do to be successful without having to do the extreme things that Kobe Bryant was doing, and just something that's just too much and too extreme that it's not even healthy, and it makes it very hard to be practical. Michael Jordan did the same thing, where he was just going to the gym like at 5 a.m. and just working out till like almost doing 16 hours every day, and the only time when he wasn't working out or practicing, he was sleeping. And I wanted to enjoy life, so I didn't want to do things at that extreme. So the advice that I have now that I want to share with you, so this is the one advice for my kids, for my friends, and especially for my kids. When they grow up, when you watch this video, this is the one thing that will make a difference in your life so that you can become successful. So it's not just outworking everybody and out hustling everybody with integrity. Integrity is important. Just, and I'll explain, I'll get more into that. But let me first change that to the advice that I want to give you. The advice I want to give you to succeed is outlearn everyone, outfocus everyone. Now I'm going to add the 5 things that I've learned, and I've explained why each of them is important. The first one is with integrity. Integrity is important because without integrity, you'll become a scam artist. You'll make bad decisions. You work for somebody who is making a lot of money, but then tomorrow you end up in jail. You can get away 1,000 times, like we say in French. You can steal 1,000 times, and one day you'll get caught, right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to be a Bernie Madoff type of guy. So it's outlearn everybody, outfocus everybody, but with integrity. So choose things where you are doing things that are honest. The second thing, out of mistakes that I've made in the past, is also with loyalty. Loyalty because at times, because I wanted to be full of integrity, I ended up really being so honest that it was something that I shared things that was like a long time ago that I shouldn't have. But one thing I've learned, in the end, is being loyal is even more important, right? So you have to have integrity, but you also have to have loyalty, regardless. You really have to have people's back. Because in life, people will make mistakes, people will have ups and downs, but what you don't want to do is to have so much integrity that you rat them out in a way, you know what I mean? So, I'm not saying that anything that was big, but it was just something where somebody will trust you that he knows something that's my secret and I'm never going to share it. So loyalty is the part where, because I'm just somebody by nature, I'm loyal. But now because of that, I'm even more loyal because I've seen where lack of loyalty can lead, and it's not something that you want to do in life. The biggest organizations, the biggest families where you've seen people succeed, loyalty is the one thing that keeps them together. So I talked about integrity and loyalty. The third thing is political correctness. I've learned this one also the hard way. If you go out there and say what you think, it'll get you in trouble. The thing is, you're gonna offend the wrong people, and you may spend the rest of your life fighting off a comment that you made one time that's just causing you so much ill. So the last thing you want to do is to be so honest that you say everything you think. Political correctness is really about understanding people, understanding relationships, and understanding how certain things that you say will help you and hurt you. So it's about, you have to choose your battles. That's the most important thing. Don't fight every time. Don't always find the need to be the person who's right. This is the right thing to do. I'm not going to settle for less. I'm not going to compromise. It's, choosing your battle. So political correctness. And we can have more videos about each of those because there are so many lessons that I've learned. But the third thing, like I said, is political correctness. And then the fourth thing is discretion. Discretion is one key thing that I've also learned. And I've learned that almost like 10 years ago, because discretion also goes with loyalty. Because some people, when they tell you a secret and you share it, they feel like you've betrayed them, right? A secret could be something as simple as, hey bro, now I make this much money. but they've told you something that they don't want anybody else to know. Oh, hey, bro, now I have this thing. It could be good or bad. I'm planning on buying, a boat. It doesn't matter. The thing is discretion, being able to keep a secret, confidentiality. You learn more. People will share more with you because they know they can trust you. As a result, you create a closer bond. And the difference between me and a lot of people that I've known in many organizations was that because I would keep the secret, because I would not share the secret, I just knew more than they would. You could be living in the same place. It's almost like the CIA of life, where some people, they operate here. They don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on because you operate at this level. You people at a very high level, right? So like say the very first company I worked at, somebody was like somebody making $30 million a year, very powerful guy, on the building, everybody feared him, the most powerful guy ever. He became also my mentor. Somebody, I don't know if I need to share his name, but let's just say his name was Dave. That's his real name, Dave. I'm not gonna share his last name, but somebody who was teaching me, taught me so much, but I never shared anything. Even when things went bad, I never, when we're having conversations, it's just like when we get into a room, it says, whatever we talked about stays here, it stays here. That's how people like Trump, people like, any president can operate. They need people they can trust fully. It's almost like in the way, if you share whatever they've told you, it's treason, right? Treason, you go to jail or it's a life sentence. So you can't share anything. Discretion is a powerful thing that will help you succeed. When people tell you things, don't share it, don't repeat it, don't be gossiping, forget about it in a way. You learn it and forget about it, so that you don't even think of sharing it with anybody else. And then the fifth thing that I've learned, I would say almost a couple of years ago, if not last year, is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the one thing where you can work hard, you can do everything, but if you're not emotionally intelligent, you don't understand your own emotions, the ones of others, you really have a hard time succeeding. And I know a lot of these things, most people will be like, yeah, I'm emotionally intelligent, but the one person that I can say is emotionally intelligent is Barack Obama. Everybody else is trying, because I'm saying this because he is so calm in times when most people will panic, will be angry. And not just that, he's also good at taking situations where a lot of people are feeling very, intense emotion, and he's able to calm them down. And the power in this is really communication. It's verbal and non-verbal, and also being able to read people's states. It takes a lot of time to master these things, but the advice that I have for you to succeed in life, right? So it's outlearn everyone and outfocus everyone. Outlearn everyone. Basically, nobody should ever be learning more than you. That's just a matter of fact. And the reason why I say outlearn everyone and I don't just say learn a lot is because it's a competition in the end. It doesn't matter. When you go for a job interview, it's a competition. When when you're trying to do well at work, it's a competition. Even though we're working as a team, if you outlearn everybody, you can be the best team player ever. You can help everybody, but because you keep learning, you will share more. You'll be somebody who is more helpful, who is more liked, and more relied upon. So being somebody who outlearns everybody is key, right? So always be learning. If I can say it the other way, always be learning. Always. So outlearn everybody and then outfocus. I need to explain what that means also. Outfocus means you have to have a vision, a goal that excites you. That when you get up in the morning, you think of this big goal. I have mine, and it says to be one single goal. You know that if I achieve this, everything else will fall in line. All the things I have. It has to be a goal that forces you to have sub goals. It could be wanting to be a president, like Barack Obama did. It could be wanting to be a millionaire, a billionaire. It could be wanting to become a CEO, manage a multi-million-dollar company. It doesn't matter. It has to be big and far from where you are right now, so that in the process you work hard, you outlearn everybody, but you have to stay focused to that goal, right? It's almost like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He wanted to be the best and greatest bodybuilder of all time, and he focused on it for years, working out 5 hours every day, right? So the idea here is to focus. Most people, what they do is they go left, right, try this, try that. It's good to try all those things to find out what you like, but to make it easy for you to focus, Choose something you're really passionate about, that's something that's just in your blood, something you feel like you're made for. So do a lot of soul searching, testing, asking people things. But once you have that goal locked, that's it. Go for it and don't look back. And my advice would be give it 10 to 15 years. I would actually say 10 years to become good at it and 15 years to reach the level of success where you're going to be happy. It's a long-term goal, and every year you need to see whether you're getting closer and closer. For me, for my goal, I've been spending 10 years on whatever goal that I have, and now I have 5 more years, and then I'm gonna look at it, and then from there, when I reach that, I'm gonna have another goal. But that's the idea. So I'll learn everybody, I'll focus everybody. And with this advice, I'm hoping you use this. I'm hoping my kids use this, because I can't think of a better advice to succeed in life. Thank you very much for your time. See you next time.